Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami. Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's
Hi, everybody. Welcome to RVing in New England, as the singer just told you.
I got it all figured out.
We like that jingle so much, we decided to play it twice.
Sure, absolutely. It's Wednesday already, huh?
It is. Zagami, you look pretty good for a guy who had very little sleep and a lot of walking.
Right, I know. I recovered nicely. Took a couple of days to recover, but
exactly. You know, we're both in Florida, but if it wasn't for a company up in the great state of Maine, we wouldn't be here. And that company happens to be Seacoast RV.
That's correct. And let me bring up.
You should tell you that Seacoast serves the what do you call that company?
Elevation.
What do you call those homes? Those park models.
Park model.
You know what, Bob? That's the only type of RV we didn't see at Daytona this weekend.
You're right.
Was a park model. We saw virtually everything, including a school bus that had Denver mountains on the side of it with a Colorado license plate today in the Buc-ee's parking lot. But anyway, Seacoast RV, they've got crop models, they've got elevation models, and they've got a load of Winnebago products. Creating family fun on Route 1, Kenny Blow and Amanda and all the crew. Bob, mention some of the other crew people named because you know them better than I do.
Who's doing the back office and the service type thing. Brittany Creamer, the sales manager, does a great job. They were all busy at work this weekend out at the Springfield RV Camping and Outdoor Show. They had a very large display out there, as did several of our other dealers. Longview was out there, Pete's was out there, Tim's RV was out there, Crowley RV was out there, New England RV Roof, Sherry Fuller with Fuller Rentals. They ran Friday to Monday. While they were working hard Friday to Monday, John and I were not working hard and relaxing. I'd like to say like the background, but it didn't quite work out that way.
Bob, I don't think you could call that relaxing, because the work that we had to do to get to where we had to go was amazing. You know, the back stretch and the front stretch, obviously, because it's a 2.5 mile track, it's 1 mile from one end to the other. So if you want to go from one end of the pits to the other, you had to do a lot of walking. And by the way, before I forget to say it, right across from the track in Daytona today, I saw a sign saying Willie Miller Incorporated, and I was going to stop and take a picture, but
you should have
all around me. So,
well, this is what it looked like Friday night as we sat on the top of the pit box in the '99 Ben Rhodes crash. Did you miss that? Let me show
you. And it's a fact. Those trucks are doing 190 miles an hour when they go by that straightaway.
Yeah.
And that's the front stretch just before the start-finish line. But I'll tell you this, it was loud and it was fun. And I will also tell you this, and I see Bernie there, but we do have to say a special thank you to Larry Peter from Campers Inn for getting us that access, because you know what? There's 102,000 people in the bleachers opposite us, and maybe 1,000 or 1,500 people that had those special VIP all access badges. And, you know, we were sitting right next to the crew that was calling all the shots about when to pit, etc. And just not to give you a play-by-play, because Mike Joy does a great job with that, but our friend Ben Rhodes, who drives for Campers Inn. He'll be driving a Campers Inn car this weekend with Campers Inn all over it in Atlanta. He went from worst to first in that race. That's 42 positions that he climbed up and led for quite a bit, and then got caught up in a crash that was no fault of his, and had to leave.
Yeah,
So,
he did a. Let me just see something here. Boo, 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 boo.
thank you, Chick-fil-A.
His
So Ben Rhodes, who had contact earlier during this run, caution flag with Tyler Ankrum. He had damage to the right rear fender of his truck. He made unscheduled pit stop on lap 70, and then a few laps later, looks like that he was being bypassed on both sides by the pack at full speed. The right rear tire goes down on Ben Rhodes' truck. Loses control, spins in the middle of the pack. Tanner Gray got a piece of the accident and was involved. Everybody else remarkably was able to steer clear of that, and Ben Rhodes, it looks like now, is going to climb out of his truck.
I'll go down first.
That was unfortunate at the end of the night, because what you couldn't see, they were trying on the other side. He had a cut tire, and by the time they got it back, they couldn't get it off the truck, and he was finished. He finished, I think, number 30, but he did lead the race for quite a bit. But that was the view that John and I had up on the box, which was
That's quite a view. Let's go over to the audience, see who we got here. We got Jim Convoy, who's back from Springfield, and Bernie, you gotta get it good with Larry, and get to go to a race, because I don't care, folks. That was the equivalent to sitting on the players' bench during the Super Bowl. Would you say, Bob? That's a good analogy.
Right. Walter says he's here. Jim Roy is here. Good evening. Willie. All right, boy. Love you too, Willie. How you doing? And see, Willie wanted a picture of that company. You got to go back there and get that.
I'll have to go back.
And Frank Palage. What's very interesting is this is a major commitment by Campers Inn. It's not a inexpensive hobby, but they've signed a deal with Richard Childress Racing, and they've signed a deal with International Motorsports. So they're going to be at 13 of the tracks that's owned by IMS, and they're going to be servicing RVs in the campgrounds. They got a whole mobile crew that'll be out fixing everybody's RVs. And at those 13 tracks, they're going to have an RV display of 10 or 12 RVs, and that includes Loudon in New Hampshire. So if you've never been to a NASCAR race or you think you want to go, grab some tickets for Loudon. We are going to be giving away some tickets to that Loudon race, but I think it's the end of July or end of June. But pay attention there. But if you're traveling around the country and you're going to be near a NASCAR track and you follow NASCAR and you want some tickets, let us know. We'll see if we can get you some tickets for that. But it's a major investment, and we sincerely appreciate and thank Cameras-In for allowing us to piggyback on them this past weekend.
Yep, great time. And I don't know if do you have the Vivek picture up there?
Bernie says we got the clout with Larry, so can we hook him up?
Yeah.
Well, we'll take that under consideration, Bernie. Which pictures did you want, John?
Do you have the Vivek picture?
No, I didn't load that up
there. So while we were having a sandwich with Larry, in the pits in the garage area, Ron DeSantis walked by. I missed him, but later on we caught Vivek. I can't remember his last name. The guy who ran for president,
Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
It's right. You got to tip of your tongue, John.
A bunch of other celebrities there that wanted to meet Bob and I, but we couldn't fit them all in. But I'm telling you, you need to go now. Bob, if you want to go with any of those other videos, I'll set them up right now. If you want to,
tell me. I got 3 of them that you sent me. So tell me.
Why don't we do Randy first?
Okay.
Now, let me.
Hey, everybody, we are.
Oops. Let me set it up. Randy is a gentleman who. My job was to go down there and get some videos of the various campers. You know, I don't do stories about campers. I do stories not about the hardware, but I do the software. I do the people that are in them.
Do the people part.
No, Randy's the guy who helped me with the battery replacement. So go ahead. Larry's a steel worker from Cleveland.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, we are at Daytona International Speedway. It's the end of Speed Week here, and we're here with Randy. Randy's from Ohio because he's got his Cleveland Browns hat on. And the thing that I've said all along, Randy, I'm sure you'll agree with me that there's something special about RVers that when they see another RVer in distress, the first thing they do is what?
They help them.
They help them.
Absolutely.
Without any question?
Without any question, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, okay. And the interesting thing is, one of your neighbors, was one of those people in distress the other night when I had no lights and needed new house batteries installed.
You did.
And we didn't have the proper tools. So what do? We saw a campfire.
Yes, sir.
And it's raining like?
It was raining cats and dogs.
Cats and dogs, okay. What did you do?
Well, you said, hey, I got no power. Anybody know how to change the battery? We got up. 3 of us got up, went over and helped you out.
And the crazy thing about the 3 of you, that you never met the other 2 before.
No, they're from Canada. We met them probably Monday. And that was what, Friday, Saturday? That was Saturday. So, we knew them about 6 days.
Yeah. But without question, you performed like a well-oiled machine.
There you go.
And somebody held the lights.
Yep.
Somebody said, make sure you don't touch the the red wire with the black wire.
Right.
But you said also that there's other people here that you camped with this time. You've been coming how many years?
We've been here 3 years, our 3rd year in a row.
Okay. But you've come down because not necessarily of the big show back there, but because of the people.
Yeah, the people. Most of them some of them are from Canada, some of them from Florida, Missouri, Utah, Idaho. Just, you come down, you meet people, then you want to see them again the following year.
What is that bond that RVers have?
It's hard to say. It's all about getting together, not knowing anybody, and just doing things together that you normally wouldn't do with people that you know.
And you're a steel worker.
I'm an iron worker.
There's difference.
Steel workers make it, iron workers put it up.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And one of the gentlemen was a firefighter and the other one was a truck driver.
Yes, sir.
So 3 separate, totally different backgrounds.
Exactly.
But we all had RVing in common.
Yep.
What would you say to someone who said, "I mean, you know what? I'm thinking of buying an RV, whether it's, a big Class A like that or a smaller trailer." What would you say to them?
Well, you got to go look at them and then figure out what you're going to do with it. I mean, most Class A's, C's, you got to tow something behind it once you plan it.
Yeah.
We have a bumper pull. We keep our motorcycle on the back of it, so
Okay.
that
motorcycle.
We don't do that.
That's no tiny motorcycle. Okay, but you've got a Grand Design Momentum, and it's a toy hauler.
It is.
Define what that is. Really.
Well, toy hauler, you can put a side-by-side in it. You can put 4. You can put 2. I can put 1 motorcycle in it, or you can put 2 4x4s in it. So
Either way.
Yep.
Okay. But the cool thing is, once you get here, you unload, set up your tent, you set up your fire pit, and
Yep.
And it's it.
It's like a party.
Okay, man. Thanks so much.
All right, brother.
Have a
Take
safe
care.
trip back to Ohio.
Yes, sir.
Hey, everybody. We are.
Too quick on the trigger tonight. Wow.
What a nice guy. Audrey says that, John, we also had some amazing experiences with folks helping out when there's trouble with the rig. They do. Period. They do.
You know what's funny? They don't ask for anything. If you didn't ask for the name, they'd just go ahead and help you out and go back to their rig. They don't want anything. They don't want any recognition. They just know that they've been there themselves, and they would want somebody to come help them, and vice versa. So when you were stuck, they came to your rescue.
They saved me $100, and I got them a. They wanted a. I said, "We're going to buy you a case of beer." The guy said, "Give me a quesadilla instead." No, I said, "No, we're getting you a case of beer." And they wanted Coors Regular, not Coors Light. We had to go to 3 stores, and nobody had everything. They have Bud Light, they have Coors Light, they have Michelob Light, they have everything light. And finally, I bought them a case of Yingling, which they never heard of because they're from another part of the country. And
Hey, we get the Bennett's are on tonight.
Yep, I saw that. I don't know where they are. They must be in California or
Colorado.
Or somewhere.
In Colorado.
Colorado.
Yep, working on the new 5th wheel and getting everything ready. Go out on the road for a little bit. Charlie Butler, glad to see you, Charlie. Mr. Swenson says race is June. There you go. He answered it for me. June 23rd in Loudon. And Larry tells me that the campers in colors will be on Ben Rhodes' truck, the number 99 truck, and that weekend, and also the Cup car, which AJ Allmendinger has on it. I posted a picture of that today. They got a new orange and white scheme for the car, and it's beautiful. And did you notice? I apologize, I didn't get everything in there tonight because we were running late with our other show, but Campers Inn now has die-cast originals.
Yep.
The 99 Craftsman truck with the Campers Inn colors. And for those who collect these trucks, they have them in the 1/64th scale and the 1/24th scale. And I understand that they are for sale in the parts and accessory store of all the Campers Inn RV stores locations. So we'll get a couple of them and find and give them away. But if you got any crazy ideas, I told Larry we're going to do something with Nerve. We're going to do something up at the track. If you got any crazy ideas on how to win tickets or what we should do up at the New Hampshire track, let me know, because we're gonna have a blowout. We just don't know how. Maybe I can get John to set up a tent in a bar.
Yeah. So Bob, it's funny because you and I were standing there behind the 99 hauler, and this guy comes up with the diecast toys for Ben to sign them, and he did. Ben, I will tell you this, Bob. I don't know if you're going to play that interview tonight with Ben, but I'll tell you, there is an incorrect stereotype about NASCAR drivers. I mean, these people are articulate, and they're not the people that started in NASCAR back
Right.
65 years ago.
They don't wave the Confederate flag, and they have all their teeth.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they're not drinking moonshine. Let's
Yep.
take a look at. All right, I'm back at the track here, and I am with Ben Rhodes, number 99, with the Campers In truck on a few races this year, and Larry Peter, who's in charge of NASCAR at Campers In RV. And Larry, season's on.
Yeah,
Ready to go.
Yeah, here we are already with Ben, Championship Ben back at Daytona, so we're excited.
Yeah. And you've got two championships, right?
Yeah, 2 championships, 21 and 23. So
Right, last
we're
year.
defending champs. We gotta see if we can, keep our title.
Can you do a third one this year?
Way better. I mean, that's the goal. If we come up short than that, it's gonna be a miserable season.
Well, Campers In is rooting for you, and all the RV people back in New England, and all of our fans at Nerved. So best of luck on the race tonight.
Thank you.
Larry, what's it like having a driver like this that's so proficient in what he does?
Our synergy with Ben is just championship. Like we're good at what we do, and Ben's excellent at what he does, right? So
Yeah.
we're very happy to be part of him. And look, he's an RVer.
Yeah.
Like he has an RV, his wife RVs, his kids RV. He's about to have his second kid next couple weeks.
Kids love RVs.
So his parents
Yeah.
are RVers. So really. The synergy is the lifestyle first. The racing's just a cool part.
Well, that's right, and they make memories, and that's what Campers In sells, is making memories and having fun with people and yourself going out there. And sometimes it's the best kept secret in America, but those of us who do it regularly have a great time with it. And then on top of that, you have your NASCAR career.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can RV at the racetracks, and you can RV for fun for vacation.
That's right.
So.
You can mix it with your work.
Yes,
All
absolutely.
right, we're at Daytona with Ben Rhodes on the 99 truck, so watch the race tonight, and Larry Peter from Campers In RV.
Pretty cool. And
Yeah.
you know what? Ben couldn't be more of a normal kid.
What are you doing? You bouncing up in your chair?
Yeah,
or
well, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm in a Lowe's parking lot, stealing internet from Lowe's as well as Chick-fil-A. I've got a battery light, and I'm hoping I can make it through the show on the battery of this life, because the life of this battery, because the internet at the campground was slower than slow. So we had to, get in the RV and drive to somewhere to make this happen.
Hope you can make it, because your track record with mechanical issues this weekend was not very good. So
no, we've had a clear day so far.
Carry that over. So let me see where we left off. Frank said hello. Walter gave us
Frank
the
is right near you, Bob.
He's in Fort Myers. Yeah, he's an hour.
Yep.
45 minutes
Larry's watching, by the way. Larry's watching. Says, "I got you, Bernie." So Bernie, it pays to beg on live TV. Look at 723.
Saying nice momentum. This guy has a great taste in RVs. Yeah, Tony Barthel's out there. Whatever the hell he's saying. Buenos nachos.
Buenos nachos.
Yeah. And they are in Mesa, Arizona, the Bennetts. Okay. We're out 4.5 months this winter trip. Oh, they're on the road and ready to go. Fantastic. Heading to Texas for the total solar eclipse in April. Yeah.
Hopefully I have better luck than the lunar eclipse.
Not drinking moonshine. No, I don't want to go. Okay. Walter says nothing wrong with a little quality moonshine. Well, I'll take my Jack Daniels. Take care. Don't bring rain. Larry says, "I got you, Bernie." Okay, Bernie. There's your introduction, Bernie. You got the main man, Larry Peter, right there. What the hell are you drinking? Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A water.
John.
Water.
Why don't you have an adult beverage?
Because I'm working.
Huh?
Because I'm
My
working.
goodness. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
All right,
John,
Larry.
I know a guy when you want.
I know a guy when you want to trade that thing. That's your mission this year, Larry and Bernie, is to get this man into a new Winnebago.
Chick-fil-A water my butt. He's funny. Hey, we should say that Larry's son is a budding baseball player, and he had a big tournament this weekend. They won 1 or 2 games and then got rained out. But he got to meet Richard Childers and was it Childers? Yeah, he got to meet Richard Childers, and few other celebrities. Larry, who else did you bring your son to meet?
Did he meet the king?
I saw the king. The king was out there, but he didn't come over. The other thing is,
Now did
they
you
have
did you catch the history? Do you know the history around the Petty family? This was the 66th running of the Daytona 500. The very first one was won by Lee Petty, which was
Richard's
Richard
father.
Petty's father. And then
Yep.
along the way, Richard won 10 Daytona 500s.
I heard 7.
And Kyle ran, and I don't think Kyle ever won the 500. And Kyle's son Adam, unfortunately, several years ago, 15 years ago, was killed up in New Hampshire during practice one day. So that family's got a tremendous legacy. And the king is out there every week with his special hats, and he will say, if you're walking down the garage area, he'll sign every autograph, as Richard Childress did. Richard was down walking the garage area the other night, and we're handing him. It's one of the things I love about NASCAR. And no other sport do you have access to the performers, if you will, the stars. It doesn't make a difference whether they're starting on the pole or starting in last place. They will stop. They will talk to you. They'll sign autographs. You can go right up to right before the race when they're standing out beside their car. Before they get ready to get in the car, they will still be shaking hands and signing autographs.
Yeah, and the fact is, there was one guy short in the pit crew for the 99, and they asked Zagami if they would help change the tire, and he only would do it if he got to use the gun that goes vroom, vroom, vroom. And they wouldn't let him, so he walked away.
I refused.
He's been banned from the pit area since then.
I couldn't even. Let me see something here. I couldn't even lift the tires. There's the tires that they were getting ready, and they were checking all the pressure, and they weigh them before they go on. They weigh them when they get off. They check the tire wear. They can tell you exactly what it is a science. I have a problem with people that just say, "Oh, all those guys do is drive around in circles." No. You saw that that pit stop that I did, which was the last pit stop. Let me show you one where they just do a gas. He was coming in and he was just doing a gas refill. This is seconds, 5 or 6. Now, on that one, remember, John, the one after that, and I wasn't filming at the time, but you saw where he pulls out of the pit. Well, the next pit stop after that, he pulled out, and there was a car in the one in front of him, and there was a car coming in.
How they missed each other.
He went right between the two of them and didn't get a scratch.
And people need to know that they're doing 60 miles an hour in the pit area.
Yeah.
190 to 210 out on the track. But when they slow down to 60, it looks like they're crawling. But, the thing is this, all those guys live in RVs instead of go to hotels. So over the weekend, I know Larry can tell us, all the different teams have an RV. I know Larry has, whatchamacallit, they're affiliated with the Colleague Racing number 16, and they've got to be in Atlanta today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So with the 1 day delay.
Yeah, that's the one. They're gonna, like I said, they're gonna have the campers in colors on Ben's truck and AJ Allmendinger in Atlanta. The other thing that really impressed me, and I think you can see it in this picture. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. This one. So we're up on the pit. That's John on the right-hand corner. Look at the computers in front of the other team members. So they're talking to the driver. They're talking to the people in the pits. But if you go left to right on those computers, the one on the left is tracking every lap. Then you see the oval. That's the the graphic of the track, and on that he sees every car, not the car, but a little circle with the number of the car. So wherever the cars are on the track, he can see every one. So he can follow his driver. He can tell him what he's coming up to if there's traffic. They can see the television feed. And one of the first skirmishes that Ben had, they were able to take the TV feed and they zoomed in to the headlight.
Yeah. They
could
knew the
tell-
damage.
Yeah, they could look at the damage, and so it was on the track. So they zoom in, they look at it, they assess it, and by the time he comes around and comes into the pit, they have the material and the parts or whatever they need to. They knew exactly where it was to repair, and all that's going on all night long. Every one of those, the TVs are changing, the computers are changing, they're inputting stuff. I was more fascinated with that because I'm a nerd on that, but that was amazing to watch the coordination of them.
Yep. Now, Larry mentions here that they're already in Atlanta. His back was hurt. Oh, Ben got hurt in that accident. But Larry says, LJ, I'm presuming Larry Jr. liked your conversation with the Celsius girl. I don't know if you know who we're referring to, but you know the Monster Girls at the tracks. Well, Celsius, which is another energy drink, has their own version. And they happen to be working with the numbers, with the Colleague number 16 car, and we're having a conversation with them before the race, and one of the girls is Italian, and I don't know how that came up, but
maybe because you ask everybody if they're Italian.
Yeah, I said to her, "Are you Italian?" She goes, "Yes." How could you tell? I said, "Because you have pasta on your shirt," and she looked and she, "No, I don't." But look it's a giant machine. It's a traveling circus. It's nothing different than what Ringling Brothers used to be, because the only thing that the NASCAR doesn't do is they don't bring their own track. They go to track that they own, but everything that you saw in the back there, Bob, is gone. It's gone after that race. And in fact, it had to be gone on Monday night within an hour after the race, because they had to put another race in there and put the new pit boxes in and everything else.
Well, what's interesting
is, thanks, Tony.
You can kind of liken it to a concert. Have you ever gone to a concert and once that show is over and they start coming out with the crates and everything, and within a couple hours the whole stage is packed up, it's going on the 18-wheeler and they're off to the next venue? Well, similar to NASCAR, they get the cars in the hauler, get those ready to go. If they have to go back to North Carolina to get a new car, they do that, and then they head up to the next track. The good thing about this weekend, even though we lost 2 days on Saturday and Sunday, was the next race was in Atlanta. Years ago, they used to have to go from Daytona out to the West Coast and run all the way
to Las Vegas.
Crazy. So they've gotten a little bit better on the logistics. And
Larry said, I asked her if she was Sicilian.
Watch it, Larry. I'm Sicilian. So
she
be careful.
Might have volunteered that. I'm not sure. But
Bernie's saying alliance. I think Bernie means that's a hint for me to say that the mobile or the fleet of fifth wheels that some of the was it the media or was it the drivers? They're staying in campers in
NASCAR executives.
The NASCAR executives are staying in a fleet of Alliance fifth wheels, provided by campers in the whole sponsorship package. So it's really cool. Each tire is around 60 pounds, says Walter Swenson. Tony Bartell says no retirement for Bob. Oh man, Tony, you are scraping the bottom of the barrel. You've been better than this. You should be able to do better than that. I don't even know how to spell retirement, Tony. I have no intention of retirement.
Hey Bob, before Larry shuffles off, because I know he's either in Atlanta or heading to Atlanta. Can you play that other Larry video we did?
Yeah, let me
that'll tell you about that alliance thing.
Over there.
Hey everybody, we are here at Daytona getting ready for the start of the Daytona 500. Our host today is Larry Peter from Campers Inn. You can see, look at Campers Inn right there. And Larry, you have a special guest.
Yeah, I'm here with Brian Kane. He's the driver for Colleague Industries. He drives the Cornerstone, the Integras, that are in our partnership with Colleague Racing. Brian is the man behind the scenes, right? He's the one that gets the motorhome to and from, sets it up. He's the heavy lifter of the group. Is that a fair assumption?
I would think so. Yeah, we have 2 buses and a third one on the way, and very pleased so far.
People think it's easy, but you have to be at a certain place at a certain time and not just drift in 5 minutes before the green flag, right?
That is correct. We have a special load-in day for all the races, and we have to coordinate with the track.
So on a day like, on a normal week, because today is a Monday and it's pushed off, but on a Sunday run, when do you get to the track?
Probably like Tuesday. We take it easy getting out of here after the race, put everything away safely, and we all try to travel in a group in case anybody has any issues. We'll get to the track on Tuesday, load in on Wednesday.
And Larry, it's not really an easy job because sometimes it's 400 or 500 miles away, and generally do you have to go back? Do they have to go back to headquarters in Charlotte?
I think it just depends on what the next race is. They generally always go back if it's feasible, but if it's not feasible, then they just go to track. Like here, they'll go straight to Atlanta.
Okay, and this particular race has been put off a couple times, but it's more special than you can really say, right?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get to come to the 500, you're doing good, but you don't want to spend 5 days trying to get it run, right?
That's right.
But it's kind of our 1 year anniversary because this is how our colleague relationship began last year. Was Brian had some issues with the motorhome, took it to our mobile service unit in Myrtle Beach, and I'll let you go from there.
Yeah, I discovered a problem in one of our buses, and we only had about 48 hours till departure. And I called Campers Inn in Myrtle Beach, and they understood the urgency and the significance of it. And we worked really hard for 30 hours inside the bus, got it done. I made a great review, and very next morning, Larry called me and said, "Hey, we need to talk. We need a relationship."
We need to talk. See, they do read the press clippings.
Yes, they do.
Okay, Larry, I know you got a million things to do and a whole bunch of people to see. Best wishes today and best wishes to Campers Inn and Colleague Racing throughout the season. Have a great day, everybody.
Good one.
There we go. Such nice people. The Colleague people were just the nicest people. A lot of people aren't aware of the fact that Matt Colleague, who's the owner of Colleague Companies, is the brains behind Leaf Fitter. And he played college football at the University of Dayton. But he's the leaf filter guy, that stuff you put in the bottom of your drain so that you don't get the leaf and debris inside your gutter and have it back up. So that was pretty cool. So,
we didn't do justice to our friends. We have this great sponsorship with Seacoast RVs, and I'm going to jump in and take this 30-second spot here for them. We promoted this at the show, Winnebago. We have now got the scrubbed list back, and I'll be working with Seacoast this week. We have a computerized program that will select the winner. So we should be able to announce the winner of the Winnebago hike, courtesy of Seacoast RV in Saco, Maine. Probably on I'm going to try to do it on next week's show. We'll know before that, but I think I'll hold it until next week's show. But somebody is going to go home with this beautiful Winnebago hike and go camping. Hopefully it's a new camper. Maybe it's their first camper to do that.
Yep. So, Bob, you got any videos that you did there? Any B-roll to show people the back?
Well, we did Randy. We did the full pit stop. We did Ben in that.
Oh, we have the other guy.
The gas refill.
Russ.
Yeah, Russ. How about old Russ?
Let me set that. Set that up.
Okay.
One of the people that I talked to said, "Oh, you got to go across the street and see Russ." And I noticed Russ had a big trailer there with a number 76 on it. He owns 11 or 12 lumber stores on the Gulf Coast over by you. And he said, I've been a NASCAR fan for my whole life, and the opportunity to sponsor a car came up. But not only did he sponsor the car, he bought into the car. So here's Russ.
Okay, and after that, we're going to go back to comments because I don't, we haven't done as many comments. So I want to get back to the fans after we do this one. So, old Russ, where are you? Right here.
We're here at Daytona International Speedway, and we're talking with Russ from Tibbetts Lumber. And Russ, one of the interesting aspects of RVing at racetracks is social, but you've taken it a step further. It's now a business for you.
Yeah, well, I think it's a little bit more than a business. We've
A passion.
Yes, we've incorporated family, friends, customers, co-workers, neighbors we've met here many, many years ago, and it's really our family and company looks forward to this every single year. It's not necessarily the races. It's really camaraderie. You can see what we do.
Yep.
We got people over here, we're sitting there talking and reminiscing. And
some who know each other and some never did.
There's some people here we just met. So, America's still great, and I think that if this doesn't show it, nothing does.
Yeah, and you know what? With the RV community, especially at a racetrack, your job titles go out the window, and you're just friends, right?
That's a camping scene in general. I mean, that's why everybody loves camping. We have 15 RVs here, and we're roughing it. We don't have any hookups here, but people would miss it for nothing because there's some people who haven't taken a shower yet, but they don't care. It's just awesome. It's great.
Yeah. So this year you sponsored a truck for the first time.
Yeah, I've been a huge NASCAR fan for probably 25 years now, 30 years, and it's been a bucket list item to me. I've always wanted to be an owner, and I actually own part of that truck. And our company sponsors it. We're sponsoring Daytona, Talladega, and a couple other races, but it's a bucket list item.
Just the small races, just a small one.
The
short distance.
But yeah, it's something really, really cool. We've gotten to know Spencer really, really, really well. He's become a friend. He'll come here and have dinner with us. So the NASCAR community is very tight knit, and the camping community is very tight knit. So they kind of go hand in hand.
So what would you say to people that are thinking about buying their first RV and don't know where to go? I mean, you could go 28 places a year for racing, right?
Don't look at blogs. Don't read anybody's news. Find somebody that's owned one and find people that have them and talk to them. They'll give you the best advice.
There you go. Now tell us where Tibbetts Lumber is.
We're based out of Clearwater, Florida, and we have 11 locations throughout Florida from the East-West Coast.
There we go. Thank you so much, Russ.
Okay, John. Thank you.
Good one.
Nice guy.
Good one. Yeah.
Nice guy. Before we go to the audience, I got to thank a couple people. The guy across from Russ, Ed Miller, is the one who hooked me up with Russ. But I went in there to do some interviews. Ed Miller was the first one I talked to. And he said, "Where are you staying?" I said, "Well, we couldn't get in the track here because they were all sold out." He said, "Well, I got a couple extra spaces. Why don't you just take those?" So I found out they're $750 for that space that I was in that you saw, and he gave it to me for absolutely nothing. So he didn't have to do that. We wouldn't have had access to all these people if it weren't for a guy named Ed Miller, who was just the nicest guy. Again, another example of a camper. He could have said, "Well, give me $200 or $300," and I offered him, but he didn't.
He could have put it in his pocket and walked out. Right. Yeah. No, right. They're just the greatest people in the world. Yeah. And that's why I say I really I talked to Larry, and we're going to come up with some ideas for New Hampshire this year, because we don't want to have this kind of an investment by campers in and have the drivers. We know the drivers now, we know the people, but we got to figure out something special to do for NERVDA in conjunction with Campers In on the race on that particular weekend. And
I know the Celsius girls.
That's good. That's good.
Celsius girls.
That's good.
They're all younger than my daughters, but
I'm sure they'd
where do we want to go here?
Wait, Tony, let's go to Larry. Larry may be out. You asked her if she was Sicilian. Don says, very late. Yeah, we got a couple of late ones today. Thank you, Larry, for letting us be part of the team for the weekend. It was absolutely fantastic. Bernie says, great shirt, Larry. Now what do you want, Bernie? Now you're going to get some
shirt too.
Oh, he wants the shirt too. See, now he's not satisfied now that he's got to hook up with Larry. and figures he'll get. You may be selling RVs at the track that weekend, Bernie. You'll have to wear your normal orange shirt.
Ernie will be parking cars.
Yeah, you could be you could be serving the hot dogs in the hospitality tent.
Tell him how much you paid to park.
$45 on Friday. Saturday was going to be 45, and Sunday was going to be 100. It's worse than the Red Sox game.
Yeah,
but even there, there's something different. If you ever parked at a Red Sox game, they're the most, I don't want to say ignorant, but they're the meanest bastards arrogant. Yeah, that's a better word. They yell at you, go over there, hey, turn that, you can't go down there. Even the guys in the parking lot, and there's hundreds of volunteers, probably thousands of volunteers to pull this thing off. They were polite, they were cordial to get you in, everything else. Can I answer any questions for you? Do you know where you're going? It was just a whole different atmosphere. It was like you were placed down on a different planet because it didn't have all the ills of society out there.
Yep.
But it was a different planet or a different country, but it was just so welcoming, and it was relaxing. I mean, you're sitting there with 250,000 people. There's 105,000 people in the stands. There's another 100,000 between the workers, the people on the infield, the 10,000 RVs. And if you had 2 people per RV, and you don't, these guys come with 5 or 6 people per RV. So in those 7 or 8 campgrounds, you probably had another 50,000 people right there. But they say collectively on the race day, there's 250,000 people in Daytona. Every restaurant is full, every bar is full, and it's just a fantastic environment. Bernie says, I am happy to help with the Loudon race, campers in RV activities. Hot dog sounds like a great idea. Well, I don't know. With your culinary skills, Bernie, you ought to be able to throw a couple of fillets on there, a couple of Texas Roadhouse ribeyes or tomahawk ribeyes for us. Yeah, we'll have to. If you're going to be the chef behind there, I don't want a Fenway Park hot dog. I don't know about you, John, but we deserve better than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's go back to the audience and see if we have any more questions. Dante says, bars were full in Ormond. How far away is Ormond from Daytona? That's down
2
near
towns up.
Huh?
2 towns up.
Okay.
Yeah, Ormond Beach, right, Dante? 2 towns north of Daytona.
Yeah, and I don't see Michael, your brother, on here tonight, so he may be recuperating because he wasn't coming home till Tuesday. But
we got to thank him for acting as our chauffeur, because once we parked the RV, he didn't want to take that in and out. So he and his friend Kevin, which come every year, they kind of chauffeured us all around and got us to the. They knew some friends down there, so they got us to the good local restaurants, not the Olive Gardens.
They did that. They also knew all the shortcuts to get back into the campground and beat the traffic. And they were great chauffeurs. Absolutely.
Yeah, they did a good job.
So on was it Sunday, the rain day? Tell them where we went on the road trip for Sunday, John.
For the Cuban? Was that the Cuban restaurant?
No. After we were done at the Cuban restaurant, on the way back. Begins with a B.
Oh, Buc-ee's.
It was. I actually did.
It was a madhouse.
I did some research when I came home. I wanted to see if it was a public company. It is not. It's a private company. The guy's worth $1.3 billion. They have 40. They have 40 Buc-ee's now. They want to go nationwide. The guy's worth $1.3 billion. And there had to be 1,000 people in the store, maybe 2,000 people in the store. And they processed them. There was no log jams, and there was
120 gas pumps.
Huh? Yeah.
120 gas pumps. And the cleanest bathrooms you'll find. And even my wife said today, we were at Buc-ee's twice today. She said, I finally found a bathroom that's cleaner than mine at home. So
there you go.
She was impressed with that. 22 miles.
Why don't you
bars
give us
were filled with Ormond? But
let me pull up your sponsorship slide here and give a little update on what you're doing with the tour.
Yeah, well, you know what? The courtside tour continues because we had to add some extra value, and we've certainly given it to our friends at Campers Inn. and our friends at Easy Care at Spot Tonight. In fact, we got to use Spot Tonight tomorrow night because we don't have a spot tomorrow night.
That's why I sent you that note today. Why you weren't using Spot
Yeah.
tonight?
Well,
So,
we got a spot today on the first place we called.
Oh,
So,
okay.
our friends at Woodall's RV Visit, we stopped at Spacious Skies on the way down and actually did a video for them. We're in our Winnebago Camp Report. We're doing a show with them and our friends at Go RVing. We promote RVing because you know what? The fact that I'm here in a parking lot at Lowe's with a CVS across the street, a Target across the street, a Chick-fil-A, I just feel at home. I'm not strange. Well, I'm strange, but I don't feel like a stranger.
That's
And
not
I think
that's not what the people in the spot next to you said.
yeah, that's probably right. That's probably right. So we pull into a campground today in Port Orange, which is one town south of Daytona. And the lady at the front desk is from Stamford, Connecticut, and the other lady at the front desk is from Newton, Massachusetts. And and then when we got here the other day, the first three people we bumped into were from New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. So, you know what? I don't think anybody's left up north.
Yeah.
This
Hey,
week.
speaking about that, I mentioned it in the write-up today. For the fans that are still on out there, what did you think of the RV shows, Boston, Hartford, Springfield? From our perspective and from talking to the dealers, they were exceptional. A lot of sales. Manufacturers have dropped the MSRP. The dealers had put some aggressive pricing up there. So we're hearing good things about all three shows with a lot of sales. But you got the feet on the street. You've been to these shows. Maybe Frank's been to a couple down in Florida. Dante, the same thing. He's down here in Florida. But what are you hearing, or did you buy anything?
What? In Boston on Friday, we talked with Chad from Pete's RV, and we're not talking dollars and cents or numbers, but he said this Friday feels like a Saturday. And we talked to Ben Hirsch at Campers Inn, who looked up on his board there and said, look how many we've sold in an hour and a half. It was 5:20 on Friday night. On Thursday night. The show opened at 4:00 on Thursday, and they had already sold several units.
Yep.
And Bernie can tell you what they did. And I interestingly got some data because there was a show in Raleigh or somewhere down here that Campers Inn had many units there, but they sold many more in Boston.
Yep.
So
Frank's got a comment.
We had good weather. Well, actually, we didn't have good weather. We had all that bad weather on on Monday or Sunday, whatever it was.
Yep. Frank is right on, spot on. You're right, Frank. Tampa did well, over 70,000 people. And I just got a report from Fort Myers yesterday from Dave Kelly. And they were off a little bit in Fort Myers, and they changed the location, which is great. They used to do it at the Lee County Fairgrounds, and it was a dump. So they moved it over to JetBlue Park. And I'm not sure why they wouldn't have done better there. But
on the parking lot where the Red Sox play.
Well, the other thing too is Fort Myers is still, and Frank will tell you, in his own campground over this. Fort Myers, they haven't forgotten the hurricane, number one. They sure as hell haven't recovered from it. So there's still a lot of people who have not returned to Fort Myers, snowbirds or people that were there for the winter. They may not come back for another year or two. So, and that affected it greatly last year. So I'm not surprised that Fort Myers had smaller numbers because the population is significantly down there. I mean, still a lot of traffic, but it's down.
Anybody know how long Frank is there till? Frank, how long are you there?
Yeah, Frank, how long are you there? I'm slowing down now. I got all this travel stuff out of the way, so only got a couple of days this week, but maybe next week we can grab breakfast up there.
Frank, how long you staying in town?
Yeah, Frank says yes, devastating. So yeah, Frank is talking about the park and the hurricane damage. It is. I mean, Fort Myers Beach is open, but very few. I think 3 or 4, 5 of maybe 5 of the restaurants and maybe 5 of the hotels are open, so they're functioning. But it's going to be a long time on the recovery. Margaritaville is open. That is open, and they're doing pretty well. Good occupancy, and you can actually get a day pass if you don't stay there. You can get for $65. You can get a day pass and go up into the pool area and the bar area. And
what town?
Used to be right downtown Fort Myers Beach. They're right across. Part of the property is on the water. A part is across. Brand new facility. They lost maybe 6 months after the hurricane, but they had very little damage during the hurricane because it's obviously being built to the new hurricane standards. Dante said Gasparilla Island. Where the hell's that? I haven't even heard of that, Dante. Tell me that hasn't come up on my radar. Margaritaville is incredible. Okay, so obviously Frank has found the bars over at Margaritaville, but I'm not sure if he goes over there to eat because Frank's a big cook and he likes to do those gigantic dinners and breakfast and stuff at the campfire. So we'll see there.
Well, Italians like to cook.
He's leaving March 1st. Damn, we better get together next week, Frank.
You taking the trailer home all the way up, or are you leaving it here and then coming back when it's warmer? So
yeah, give me some dates, and might even combine the breakfast with Mark LeBrecq, who used to own Diamond RV, and we could tell RV stories over breakfast. Mark's got a couple of favorite places that we go to up there. Devastating. Yeah, Frank says that.
Yep.
Boston was a solid show for sure. We hear all our shows are doing great. We're in Providence, Rhode Island this weekend. Well, that'll be a real test for you. I'm not crazy about the Providence show, but let's see what happens there. And the reason Cameras In does great. If you watch the interview that we did with Ben Hirsch that we posted on the Camper Report show, I don't think we posted that on RVing in New England. I think I'll post that on a link on that.
Yeah.
So you guys can see the whole thing. But
you know what? And Ben really told us the story about how the amount of work that's involved in putting on a show.
Yeah,
and it goes back several months to figure out what to bring.
It was fascinating to hear him talk about what he likes to call the art and the science of it. Some is art, some is science, some is just roll the dice. But he engages a lot of his management team and the salespeople to do it. But it's a good interview to see the behind the scenes on what goes on, because you don't put on shows like this, on a moment's notice.
Not by any means.
Ernie will tell you there's a lot to do.
And what we've got to do.
Margaritaville was awesome with RV Unplugged.
What we've got to do on a moment's notice, Bob, is to mention again that we are sponsored by Seacoast RV.
We're running out of time. Yeah, I want to agree with Don Hawes. Unfortunately, I didn't get up to Camp Margaritaville, when they were doing the filming of RV Unplugged, because that was the week after the Boston show, and I came home with COVID, so I didn't make it up there. I had hoped to. But yes, we are sponsored by Seacoast RVs, Route 1, Saco, Maine, creating family fun on Route 1. Kenny, Amanda Blow, Brittany, the sales manager, Kendra in the back, service in the back office operation, largest towable Winnebago dealer in Maine, #1 elevation park model dealer in the country, #1 truck park model dealer in the country. If you haven't been there, take a road trip to Saco, Maine, say hello to them, tell them you saw their sponsorship on RVing in New England. A great family business, wonderful people to work with. Anything else?
Special thanks to all of our audience. Keep in mind, we do not take your presence on Wednesday night for granted. Your presence is a present to us.
That's right. I agree.
We thank you, everyone.
And thanks again to Campers In and Larry Peter for the great weekend in Daytona. Thanks again to Seacoast RV for being our sponsor. And we will see you folks down the road and next week. And if you got any ideas at all about what we should do to have a blowout weekend up in Loudon, New Hampshire, let us know, and we will try to make it come true. Fair enough.
See y'all.
See you next.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.